Neo-Tokyo, or as you might know it, Akira's world. This is one of the worst places ever to have to be a citizen of. If I have to judge this place versus like Crematoria, Gotham, or like Beirut, I don't know where I go because they're all that bad. And you know what, I gotta be honest, Neo-Tokyo is sitting pretty high up at the list. Now let's remember the breakdown. Like, first of all, old Tokyo was literally destroyed by pure psychic force. This goes back to the old part like Akira and what was going on. But what arose out of the ashes of that was something kind of even more weird and manic, all wrapped up in neon. And it feels like if this was the big wound, everything now in the city is just connected by these neurons now, like a massive traumatized brain. Like everything in Neo-Tokyo around you buzzes, the noise levels never really stop. You can't tell if these are flashing lights or you're having an actual hallucination. Like you got these massive skyscrapers that reach way up to the sky, almost as like you're reaching up to the gods. Underneath all that, you got a sewer system that carries secret waters from forgotten laboratories that were doing experiments. Like every part of the city smells like a rebellion, some ozone, or just straight up gasoline. I mean, let's remember, you could be sitting in a restaurant and biker gangs literally just bust through the window. Like that guy is dead, right? So you can imagine what the psychological effect that this has on the citizens who try to live a normal life there. And everything's fallen down. There's no hope. It's probably the biggest takeaway. So the youth is completely disrupted because they see nothing for them. And you have the youth who are either in open rebellion or they're just wilding out in the streets. That's where the youth are pretty much across the board. There's paranoia everywhere because, yeah, the government does surveil people. The government and the military also hides weapons. The scientists are literally making apocalypse level gods. That's what destroyed the last city, but they didn't learn, right? They're still doing it again. And you're kind of in this where you might see a little boy running down the street. Maybe he's human, maybe he's an experiment, and you don't know until it's too late. So you do have this massive disconnected culture where people seem to walk around almost in a daze, and everything about it, like the rage has become a religion. It's literally manifested into religion with these prophets all over the place, the biker gangs who are kind of replacing real leadership. Like hope is the thing. People talk about change here, they're gonna think you're crazy. Like this is it. The system has control. They want these people to see sedated, which is why he wears the pill. The pill is totally symbolic of the sedation of the people in general. This is before we even get to what Tetsuo and Akira actually represent. And it's more profound with Tetsuo because we get to watch it live. This isn't like one boy who's losing control. This is Neo-Tokyo's collective shadow made flesh. This is everything. The orphan, the oppressed worker, every silent scream. They find this avatar in him because he embodies this psychic hangover of an entire civilization that they're pushing for the power that they want. He transforms the city into this nightmare realized. He is the child that society broke, but also fears. So the more the city tries to contain them, literally we see them do this, the more violent it unravels. So that's what he is manifesting. Their ills of not properly raising that second or that next generation, and now they're completely out of control. The other thing that's going on is like the desperate battle is not to make the city better. It's about who can control the city. If we look at the politicians, if we look at the military, they're in a fight about who controls the city, and they're doing all these things. They're issuing drugs for it to numb the populace. They've got experimental weapons, right? Politicians are just rolling the dice with people's lives. So you see an open rebellion in the street, like the military force is heavy-handed. So the amount of stress that's going on in Neo-Tokyo has got to be at peak levels for everyone all the time. So just dissecting this series gives you a better understanding of where, Akira comes from, why this matters, and what this really manifests. And it's really their sins that had destroyed their previous city coming back to haunt them live and direct in this new neonized version. So a film, if you haven't checked it out, you really got to get into the deep meaning of it. Something I definitely would encourage you to do. But if you have any thoughts, please drop them in the comment section. And as always, I ask you hit that like and subscribe.